Welcome back, everybody. We are live at BT Sport. You know who I am. This is Scott Minto.
Who am I? Oh, thank you.
It's Scott Minto, and we are back here because we are live tonight in about half an hour's time. Sporting Club at home against Braga should be a great game. If you were with us earlier in the season, then you will remember that they shared 6 goals in that game, Sporting leading 3 times before being pegged back. Kickoff is 21:15 on BT Sport, so join us for that. But we have other business to discuss. Enzo Fernandez finally went.
Wow.
So, are you
Yes.
believing this is a very good deal, or is this a massive gamble?
For who?
Well, for Chelsea spending that money.
Well, it is a gamble for Chelsea because, you know, we've seen him this season,
Yeah.
and a lot of people have only just sort of seen him in the World Cup, and I'm very wary of judging people on the World Cup, but we have seen him from the start of the season, and he's a very, very, very good midfielder with even more potential. My worry is that he's not, from a Chelsea angle, that he's not one of those players, not a Lionel Messi. You know, he's not even a sort of like a Jack Grealish, where you know you can have the bit of magic and go past three players.
They've made a big deal about most touches in midfield, most passes, la la la.
Yeah.
But 1 goal, 5 assists.
Unless he does like a Conte and actually controls the game for Chelsea, then I think people are going to be saying he's not worth the money. Well, how many of the Chelsea players are worth the money they've spent? I mean, Todd Bowley, to be fair to him, he's like, I don't care how much you want him for. We want that player, so we'll overpay. So there's a lot of players at Chelsea who are not worth the money, but we know he's a very good player. So it is a gamble for Chelsea because it is a lot of money. I think it's a no-brainer in a way for Benfica, but it's something that they didn't want to do.
Well, here's the
And they haven't really got a replacement, have they?
No, Schmidt there made a good point, and he said, look, I don't want any more new players at this time. I want stability. I want calm around the team. I only want players here that want to play for Benfica.
Yeah, but you can't have stability. He hasn't got stability because Enzo Fernandez has gone. One of your best players is gone. So what's the next best thing to do?
But he has
try and bring someone in. I think he said that after realising that any player that he could bring in wouldn't have improved the sides. So actually, it's not worth bringing anyone in.
But
if he could have brought someone in that's like for like, it was too late. They didn't expect Chelsea to come in and fly to Lisbon and say, we ain't leaving until we're bringing this player back. But look, financially, it's an incredible deal.
Rui Costa did everything within his power to keep Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez did everything in his power to leave. He's taken a lot of stick as well today from supporters groups, etc. But Rui Costa, it is actually said to the player and his representatives that, look, we'll sell you to Chelsea, but just stay until the end of the season. You won't lose any money. The deal will be the same, but stay.
Yeah, he can't guarantee that, though. He can't guarantee that Chelsea are going to come in and...
No, he said, we'll sell you. We will sell you now, but we want to keep you. But the answer was no there. And also, interestingly, he's made a post on social media. This was quite interesting. That he said, thank God for the opportunity to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world. Then he ended with saying, don't let them tarnish what we had. We built something that was, beautiful.
He's almost like that incredible woman you met on holiday for a couple of nights, and you're thinking you've got a relationship.
Yeah, you need to just actually ratify that. Because you're saying it as if I've told you that I've actually
No. Back in the day, when we were young and single, and
is this down in Estoril?
But it was almost like a fleeting. What's the words?
This is way too dangerous.
No.
This is way too dangerous.
It's not. It was a romance, a fleeting romance. That's what I'm looking for.
A holiday romance.
But the bottom line is Benfica have earned a lot of money, but at the same time, from a purely football point of view, this season, Benfica are not only hoping to win the title, but they're hoping to go deep into the Champions League.
Yeah.
And there's less chance of that happening
And they're still in
absolutely less chance of that happening with one of your best players gone. But that's not to say I still fancy they'll beat Bruges, and then you're hoping for a good draw in the quarters. But you obviously would have more chance of getting into the semis if you had Enzo Fernandez.
The deal that took Pedro Porro to Tottenham from Sporting ended in a completely different way. Yeah, the supporters wishing him well, him talking up the great opportunity that he was given, how much he loved coming to the club, how much he loved playing for them. And there was a great quote that he made at the end. He said, "Look, that I would love to end my career playing for Sporting." He said, "So it's not a goodbye, it's see you soon."
You said it in such a romantic way again. I'm sure you could do that as well.
It's how we sign off.
Absolutely.
Every time we finish a game.
No, but I mean, look, again, I think the bottom line is actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
Both have said similar things, different words, but similar things. But Pedro Porro basically didn't stop going to training and didn't try to demand a move, and he didn't go.
Although the media did try to play that up, that he
but we know he was told.
He was told
just stay away for the day. Absolutely. Yeah. And obviously Enzo Fernandez went to Argentina over New Year, so completely different situation. So even though people could say, well, it's a similar thing to what Enzo Fernandez has said, Pedro Porro's actions were, I'm a Sporting player until something. I do want to make this move, and it's a big move, obviously, to the Premier League, certainly financially, but also going to a better league. As much as I think Sporting Lisbon is a great club, but or Sporting Club is a great club, but it's a great move for him.
They moved quickly though to bring in a quality replacement in Bellerin, who's had very few opportunities at Barcelona. Seven games he's played, so he's there until the end of the season. There is the potential that the deal could be made into a permanent one, and it's only going to cost them £1 million or so. But a good piece of business, an experienced player that they're going to need to rely on.
No, they are, and you know what? He is a very good experienced player, and I think it's for that type of money, it's brilliant. But Sporting are in a really bad place right now. I mean, you look at the table.
18 points behind Benfica.
Yeah, but forget about the title. They're 8 points behind Braga, who they're playing tonight.
Yes.
There's every chance they ain't going to finish top 3 today, this season. So this is a massive game, Tim. It really is. It's definitely one they can't afford to lose, and really one they need to win. So from the start of the season, when both the central midfielders were sold, it's been a difficult season for Ruben Amorim. So
are you surprised? I mean, we've got no Paulinho tonight because he was sent off. He's suspended for 3 games after the League Cup final defeat to FC Porto. While we're on the subject of the League Cup final, Sergio Conceição winning his 9th trophy. Pinto da Costa racking up his 67th during his time there. The only chairman or owner that comes close to him is Florentino Perez, who's won, I think, mid-30s, but he's been there a lot. Yeah. But
been there since the 80s, isn't it?
Sergio Conceição, now the most successful coach in Porto's history, taking over from Arthur George.
Brilliant. Really pleased for him. You know what I think of him. I think he's been a really good, incredible player. Without quite being world class, he's someone who got the very best out of himself, and he's doing that as a manager as well, and he's getting the very best out of these players. So as much as I don't apologise for saying it, I want Benfica to win the title. I've got a lot of admiration for Porto as a club, but also Sergio Conceição. So I'm really pleased for him.
Done a shrewd bit of transfer business. Bought in Fran Navarro from Gil Vicente, who's got a great record, 28 goals, I think, in 50 since he arrived from Valencia. Valencia will maintain, I think it's a 50% ownership or 60% ownership of that player. So they've not paid a lot, 7 million. So maybe that points to, in the summer, Evan Nielsen or Taremi moving on, or Galeno moving on, or somebody, because they don't usually load up on players to sit them on the bench.
No, they don't. I'll be honest with you, I don't know where to go with that. I've no idea whatsoever. If I was a Porto fan, I'd be saying keep them all. And let's really try and win the title and go deep into a European competition. That's what I'd be saying.
Ruben Amorim the fans have got to be behind the club in these difficult times as we, try to build on this project. I will stay as a coach for as long as they want me. Now, is there a subliminal message?
Well, he signed a contract, didn't he? Even when we kind of were surprised that he was going to sign a contract. And I was sort of told, well, it doesn't really mean anything, and, there's every chance he won't be there come the end of the season. But by saying, as long as they want me, I will stay.
You're
kind of saying, you're kind of putting the ball in their court. So the owners and the hierarchy can turn around and say, we want you.
Yeah.
So then, really, you shouldn't be going. But I actually would be surprised if he's the sporting manager next season. I think if a medium to top European club comes in for him, I think he probably thinks he's done as much as he possibly could at Sporting Club, and will perhaps look to do something different.
Word about Braga. They lost Vitinha, second top scorer. They've got a few injury issues. Neither of the Hortas are playing tonight. They've got Banza coming into play alongside Abel Ruiz. But they continue to impress. They were beaten 5-0 by Sporting in the Cup at the back end of December. They called that, Artur Jorge called it one of the most embarrassing moments of his entire life. And they've responded by winning every game since. And they're arriving here with the best away record in the division. Played 9, won 8.
Do you know what, Tim? What Carlos Carvalhal did, in his couple of seasons at Braga, I thought was sensational. What Artur Jorge is doing now is just incredible. I mean, I genuinely think that they will finish third this season. I think they'll finish above Sporting. And tonight is a big game towards that, even though there's a lot of games afterwards to go to the end of the season. But I actually think if they'd have kept Vitinha, I don't think they'd have won the title, but I think they'd have gone pretty close.
Big
no,
money.
Couldn't turn it down. Big money for a club like Braga.
25 million plus 7 in
pounds.
add-ons.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's huge money.
It's massive money.
Yeah.
They couldn't turn it down. But my point is, this is a really good side. And I'm really looking forward to this game.
Yeah. There's a few players that are ending their contracts there, and some Al-Mazrati being one of them, the midfield players. So there's always the potential with Braga that they're playing for, summer moves to one of the big three. But for them to get in a Champions League would be incredible.
Sensational.
Absolutely incredible. Sporting's team tonight, you may well have seen it already, is in. There you can see in the background the teams out there. We see Chamiti, the 18-year-old. Boundless energy and enthusiasm.
A bit like you.
Yes.
Not the 18 bit, but the boundless energy and
enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
You bring it out of me. You see, it's being
We're a
alongside.
team now, Tim.
Oh, we're a team. We are. Esgaio in Porro's position, and Jeremiah St. Just has got a game.
Esgaio's an interesting one, though. I mean, even St. Just, what was it, 10 million euros at the start of the season, and he hasn't really, hit the ground running, has he?
They had interest in taking him back to the Bundesliga.
That's just not really happened for him so far at Sporting. But Esgaio's another one who's a good player. But was he at Braga before?
Yeah.
But and he's taken over. He's made a couple of mistakes, and the Sporting fans are not really having him, are they? So, again, this could be the game where if he plays really well and Sporting win, the defining game where he wins over the fans. Otherwise, again, he still stopped starting his sporting career.
And for Braga, I can tell you, Banza starts tonight. Now, Banza, they've sent on late as a substitute. He played in that game against Guimarães a couple of weeks ago when they were losing and then came back to win with a goal in the 98th minute. So it'd be interesting to see how he takes the moment when he's being given a chance as a starter between now and the end of the season. He's dangerous.
No, he is, and I like Abel Ruiz as well. So it will be interesting whether they do go for 3-4-3 or whether they go to the 4-4-2 that they have done as well and have those two up front as out-and-out strikers. So, but they're dangerous, and we've seen that before. And you've just said about the best away record. That's some achievement to have that, Tim. So, Sporting, you better be careful here.
Right, that's it. We have to go now because we've got a game to do. We have As you can see in the background, teams are warming up. We're ready. It's on BT Sport at 9:15. I'm not sure actually which BT Sport it's on. I think it's on BT Sport 3, but if you look on the EPGs, then you'll be able to see where it is. So we hope you can join us next time. We've got a couple of Classicos coming up in the next month or so as well. So
next one's a great game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. A lot.
No, sorry, the next one with me and you.
Oh,
because you're doing Saturday, I can't do Saturday.
Cassiopeia against Benfica.
But the one after that is Sporting versus Porto, isn't it?
Well, and we all know what the potential is in those games for things to heat up and it to, overheat.
Absolutely.
Do join us for that. For the moment, though, thank you very much for tuning in. And this is where this is where we go through that process of trying to actually get it to stop, and nobody knows how to do it.
Well, I'm going to do myself a tea.